Hi guys, I'm Garen.
I'm JD.
And this is Investigating Comic Club, where we chronologically read, review, discuss, and rate specific crucial stories of the medium.
Indeed, and we hope that you guys will subscribe and become members of Comic Club yourself. Read along with us, share your opinions of the stories in the comments below, and stick around till the end for our comic quality poll, as well as some potential bloopers after the Misfit Picture Show's logo. We had a little bit of trouble last night. Usually we like to get this episode up as early as possible.
Yes.
But what happened there, Garen?
I don't know, and I still want to know. Is what I want to know.
We gave it a good effort. You know, we stayed up till about 2 a.m., but we both had to get up early, so...
Yeah, I don't know.
So be it.
Yeah, so be it.
Times have changed, let me tell you. Back in the day, you know, you talked about in the opening chronological Marvel companion series to this, how Spawn was maybe your first comic.
Yeah.
The Image founders especially were notorious for being late. And when we're saying late, we're talking about a month late with their book, 6 months late with their book. Last night, it was 2 hours late.
Yeah. 2 hours.
This world has changed.
Within maybe 5 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. At 20 minutes, you get on Twitter and there's like people going like, I paid for it. Where is it? Where's my book? And I'm over here like, I'm not gonna write that on Twitter, but really, where is my book? Yeah.
You have your iPad, your computer, refresh.
Just refreshing for 2 hours.
Watch. Why haven't I been notarized? Where's the email?
Just losing my mind.
Black Mirror.
Oh gosh.
Wipe us away. Also, because we're recording this in the middle of the day, there might be some outside noise, which we apologize for, but we'll try and keep our voices up.
Yes.
So this week we are doing Powers of X #4 by Jonathan Hickman, R.B. Silva, and Marte Gracia. Garen, what did you think?
That was great. I thought it was great because, again, the name of it's something sinister. I mean, as it told us in the last issue, and how we talked about it.
We've been
anticipating it.
And you don't even know who Mr. Sinister is, really.
It's funny. Well, I don't really know who he is. That's even the best part about it. But with me reading other things in the Marvel Universe, on my own, it's been fun to hear about him come into play. But again, no, I don't. So
he's probably the most perfect villain, to be honest, for you, because he's kind of like mythic, mysterious, sinister, a name like Sinister.
Yeah.
But you've experienced Apocalypse, you've experienced Magneto, regardless of the medium.
Yeah.
But Sinister, you probably have no real, like he's just something that is there underneath that you don't know about, which is cool.
Yeah.
And
like if it wasn't for them, really pictures coming up being like, oh, this is next, or oh, here's a photo kind of thing. If you put him next to like 5 other people and like would point out Sinister, I probably couldn't. I'd be
like 3 months ago.
Yeah, 3 months ago. Yeah, I would have been like, I don't know.
Maybe this one?
Yeah, right. He looks Sinister. Yeah. This one in a whole for me is the same with a lot of the powers because it's a lot of information.
Yeah. Our buddy Scotty was saying the same thing, that he's having a real tough time with powers.
Yeah.
He's enjoying House.
Yeah.
But powers, he's having a tough time with the timeline.
Yeah. And it is the timelines, it's a lot of information, it's new characters, new or old into the timeline, back and forth, a lot of Krakoa stuff where you're like learning about it. So it is a lot for me.
The experience of powers, and tell me if this is true or not, I'm just kind of like potentially speaking for you, which I don't want to do. But it seems like powers, he recognizes when probably the majority of the casual reader is about to get overwhelmed. And then with like a tech page or some exposition, he'll, right at that moment, he'll go back and inform you to a place that you feel like, oh, I got it. And then he moves forward. Yeah. So I feel like powers, for the majority of the readers, will actually be a much more rewarding reread. Yeah. Even if you stopped here and you're having this feeling right now, if you went back and read 1, 2, 3, and 4 of just this, I bet you'd be like, wow.
No, yeah. And I did that before the last House.
Okay.
I read all 6. Or like up to that, like I reread all the House and the Powers.
Okay. Before halfway through.
Halfway through, yeah. And I reread them, and it was one of those, like, it paid off. And yeah, you kind of nailed it as far as, like, there was moments where I'm like, oh, I'm meeting Sinister for the first time, where like there's multiple Sinisters, or like, and then there's And then I'm like, okay, what am I learning? And then jump straight to Krakoa and how he's creating this civilization and
the origin of
Krakoa. The origin of that. And then just the whole what throws me off a lot of is the timeline that is the year 1000.
Right.
Throws me off every time.
Well, let's go back a bit to the beginning. I thought that Bar Sinister was wickedly clever, a name, to start it off with that. I think that there are plenty of Bar Sinisters in the United States or in North America, in the world.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was very appropriately clever. Right away, we're seeing, and this is year 1, so this is like the new origin of the X-Men, or potentially just a reveal of something we haven't known this entire time.
Oh, yeah.
That Professor X knew who Sinister was because of Moira.
Yep.
Went and sought him out, told him to start cataloging all mutant DNA, and then forget about it. And I'll come back to you when I need it.
Time is right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It really does work. And also the idea that Sinister has some mutant DNA that he put inside himself. So right away they say to Sinister, in a way that allows you in as a reader, it at least establishes that, Sinister messes around with DNA and genetics and stuff like that. So, he's cloned himself. All of these clones, and they all have this slight, weird, different personality that's off kilter. The guy's like, and you're wearing a cape.
Right. You're wearing a cape. And then the next one. Why did I have a cape? Why did I have a cape?
I never thought to tell you. It was awesome.
Yeah.
No, the humor in it is really,
the humor. I was
really,
laughing
really
while
fun.
reading it.
So you're given that with Sinister, I think at the appropriate moment, in a way that, he works with genetics, he clones himself, he's going to catalog the DNA, and he's Sinister.
Yeah.
And then we're thrust into the gossip pages.
Yeah, which is so funny.
Which is really funny.
Yep.
Any of those by number stick out to you and you're like, that feels like it means this or something?
None of them. I'm sure it all means something which I want to know.
Okay, I would say that is it called the Red Diamond?
Yeah.
So the Red Diamond, I would say, is actually leaping forward to current present day.
Gotcha.
And these are actual gossips that's going to pay off and be plot lines that Hickman will explore in our current, when X-Men is relaunched in October. So for me, these are some of the things.
The redhead.
The Red Shoes.
Yeah.
There's a song, and it might just be because it's one of my favorite songs, by Elvis Costello, The Angels Want to Wear My Red Shoes. So I feel like he's talking about Angel in that, Archangel. Right. Number 2 is it's going to be the return of a popular mutant. I don't have any guesses there, to be honest. Number 3 is Madeline Pryor, who is Cyclops' son's mother.
Gotcha.
And there was a big crossover called Inferno that Sinister was a big part of. Number 4, What Washed Ashore. I think he's saying many people aren't talking about it. I feel like those are the opening pages of this series.
Gotcha.
What's up with those pods and clones? Again, Sinister clones. I was talking again with Matthew in the comments.
Yeah.
I feel like he was on the right track to Sinister's involved with those clones. Okay, I like the Sinister secret revealed, where it's Sinister, the mutant DNA in Sinister.
Yeah.
I think you're going to like this one. Garen's been reading X-Force Omnibus #1. So in the new X-Men's chronology with Wolverine and Colossus and Nightcrawler and Storm, when they became the X-Men, there was also Thunderbird, John Proudstar, and he died in their first mission.
Oh.
So in the 70s. And that is Warpath's older brother from X-Force.
Gotcha.
So
he died what they're saying with this.
Right. So I think the mutant DNA, which makes sense because he was the first one that died.
Yeah.
He died in a plane explosion. Sinister is there kind of collecting that dead body. It's cool. I like it a lot.
Oh, that's cool.
Secret number 5, the best there is at what he does, is obviously quote used for Logan. And he's fooling around with some wife who is also a mother. It makes me think of Jean, but I don't know. because Jean and Logan have always got that, and then it's like the husband, but who's he going to talk about? Because he's doing the same thing, and Cyclops and the White Queen have gotten this thing kind of going on. Number 6, I feel like, is maybe Gambit, because he's got Sinister ties. Gambit and Sinister had things. Number 7, the third brother of the Summers, because that's Cyclops and Havoc, is Vulcan, but maybe there's more, which would also make sense. Sinister, he's always been involved with that family. Maybe he's cloned other brothers. Number 8 is the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and if they were ever to come back together, I think, again, that's Archangel, because Apocalypse remade him into death. Yeah. So there was like war, famine, pestilence, and death. I think Archangel was the first death. Number 9, some type of couple who aren't a couple but maybe are a couple, and when they're reunited, I can't really think of who that would be. Inferno is a big deal. That's that crossover that I was talking about. Yeah. And number 10, some spy within the X-Men has been brainwashed and has been in there for much longer than we would have thought.
So these 2 pages...
I really think that those 2 pages are like hints of what's to come and what he's going to explore.
Wow.
It's cool, right?
Comment below if you agree. That's awesome.
This is Doug Locke's introduction to Krakoa. What did you think of this sequence?
I thought it was beautiful. Like the way, I mean, I felt like I was walking through like the Amazon.
Oh, cool.
Throughout it, and like...
Again, Marte Gracia.
Yeah, no, all of this is
really gorgeous.
And I loved actually the first kind of shot of them talking to Krakoa, and that like, and the picture of the tree.
Yeah. And it looks very similar to the one that's 100 years in the future that was part of that X-Men. It's almost like a Groot. Yeah. But you see his personality within that face. And it's got the same face as Doug Locke. Because that was kind of confirmed in 100 years from now, the Krakoa being, it's the body of Krakoa, but it is the mind of Doug.
Yeah. I couldn't tell. Yeah, is he like, when he's talking to the tree, to Krakoa, is he seeing the future or the past? He's seeing
that's
the past.
Far, far past.
Yeah.
So that's Apocalypse. There was, it's almost like a one island theory of Earth. You know how there's that theory, they were all one. And then it cracked when this Twilight Sword came. Again, Inferno. Clearly Hickman's a big fan of Inferno. The Twilight Sword, I don't want to mess your mind up too much, but this is essentially, you get it. It's demons.
Yeah.
It's a portal to the devils.
Yeah.
And this is their weapon, which is fine. That's all you need to know. The first mutant, Apocalypse, came with his 4 horsemen, drove the Bad Island and the demons back. And now Krakoa is missing.
And I like just how it explains all that, but it starts with them going, I missed some of it, but this is... and then, or something like that.
Which I think what he was saying to Charles right beforehand, almost condescending, but without, like, that's not Doug Locke. He wouldn't be condescending. But he is like, more or less, he's sad, but there's subtlety that our language you can't really understand. I felt like, and this is something I want to talk about Professor X later, but I felt like, so he's being a little snarky, and I love his establishment of Krakoa. For you, the reader, he tells you exactly what you need to know of the history of Krakoa. And he's like, that's great. He's being sarcastic. And Charles is like, no, this is my idea. He's like, really? And then immediately he changes. And is in line with what Professor wants.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And it's like, one is Professor X changing Doug Locke
thoughts
to what he wants. Yeah. And is it deliberate, or is it unconscious, or is it even happening?
Yeah.
That seems like a big shift. Because Professor X is like, what's wrong with you? Aren't you excited?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you are excited.
Sorry. Yeah.
I think something's up there.
No, which goes to what we see with him and, Cyclops and everything, what we think is going on.
Right. And this issue starts with the quote, there's many hard choices ahead. And we have, last episode, we've seen the emotional struggle that he's going through.
Yeah.
But it's possible that he's doing it unconsciously or consciously. The technovirus immediately starts spreading. I don't know if you noticed that on Krakoa. Like, Doug Locke doesn't have much. Sometimes he doesn't have control.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't have, it makes sense.
He brushes across things.
Yeah.
It's a technovirus.
Yeah.
And it immediately starts spreading. The alien being that he has been infected with, the technovirus, that's the phalanx.
Oh, gotcha.
So you as a reader, you're saying a little overwhelmed by this issue. But I do think that they established what Doug Locke does. Mm-hmm. They established kind of what Sinister was. They established what Krakoa was.
Yep.
They told us how Sinister became involved, and they told us the origin of Krakoa and how Krakoa became involved.
No, yeah.
It's an info dump.
No, it's an info dump of just like,
But it's a lot of questions.
It's a lot of questions answered, and that's why all of that leading up to it, I was like, oh, cool. This is all there, and then all the way to, the current Krakoa system was made by, Cypher.
Yep.
For the tree, how it has each person,
Yeah, I love Sage. Obviously, I've talked about her. There was Cassidy, which is another cool one. Black Tom Cassidy. Yeah, and he's got that wood that he uses to, he channels things through wood and has a bioblast or whatever they call it. But that makes sense with wood. Yeah. I don't know who the third one is. Trinary?
And then Beast for, of course, data analysis.
Forge. Doing something with, he's the maker.
So yeah, having that was the initial the foundation, the founding. So, and then all, leading up to that, it was great. And then I get to year 1000.
Year 1000.
Which all of it is still it even makes a little bit more sense just talking about some other things, talking about the virus.
So we remembered that this was the phalanx.
Yep.
And that they had come to basically, what was it? Enlighten?
Yeah.
Transcendence. Transcendence, right? So they were going to get, essentially these humans, because they were all led by Nimrod, right?
Yep.
At this point? So the humans are essentially slaves to AI.
Yeah.
And they've been awaiting the phalanx to transcend with them.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if you're artificial intelligence and there's this entire... They even kind of establish what the phalanx is. It's not what they do. It's what they are. They just spread.
Yeah.
They are a virus.
Yeah.
They have no good or evil about them. That's just kind of their species.
That's what they do.
Yeah. So it makes sense for humanity's AI to want to be a part of this larger spreading artificial intelligence virus. What I like about here, because the elder human says, "and my seer self," which is that little robot, we've seen each. Yeah. Remember the librarian who I was like, I wonder if the librarian is Moira McTaggart.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the far future.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we're seeing that maybe the librarian still is Moira, and she just potentially put a Spartan virus within the phalanx.
Gotcha.
To see what's going on. That's maybe what is occurring here.
I mean, and again, it's enough to keep me intrigued and read over it more and more again, even those last 4 pages.
For you, I'm just wondering, does this remind you of anything?
In this world, or
just anything?
Anything. Well, this looks like Professor X's head up here with this thing and the way his body is, and
we hadn't thought about that at all. Wow, why haven't we thought about that? The Cerebro that's been on Professor X the entire time. Is the AI already infected, and Charles is actually just carrying out?
Oh wow!
Setting up all of Mutantdom for the inevitable takedown.
Wow. Because I see. I mean, there's.
That's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, but I see.
I don't think you know much about the Celestials.
No.
Okay, Celestials in Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
They are these mysterious beings. The head of a Celestial is in Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's the whole kind of city and outpost is in the head of a Celestial. Celestials are this ancient, maybe creators of all life in the universe or something. And there's something celestial about that phalanx.
Gotcha.
So I just wanted to kind of actually ask the viewers if they felt like that's a hint of something maybe I've missed in the comics, if that is obvious or not, I don't know. You were feeling good about the issue, but the 1000 was just a little...
I mean, yeah, and again, it was just more or less had to dive deeper into it, you know, just actually decode it a little bit more. And
there is something that's kind of an obvious reason that you are disconnected from that 1,000-year future. There's no X-Men in it.
There's nobody.
So to end the issue in this cold reality that you're just kind of reading it like a librarian.
Yeah.
It is... I think it's a necessary evil for where Hickman is going in the series, but it certainly doesn't give you this fervor for the next page. Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of a cold way to end any issue.
Yeah.
It takes, you know, the issue down half a grade for me because it is kind of a cold, unexciting way to finish the comic after what has been reading.
Yeah, and after, especially last few weeks.
Yeah. So the two quotes, many hard choices ahead, that's Professor X at the beginning.
Yep.
And the end, I'm not afraid of what I've done, but what it may cost, essentially.
Yep.
And I think it's interesting for Professor X, he uses the word afraid. I'm not afraid of what I've done. It's not even like, I regret what I've done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not afraid of it. I'm just afraid of what may come out of it. Professor X, I don't like Professor X. I really never have.
Huh.
So regardless of this weird distrust of him from this series, I think he's kind of a jerk. And he is kind of that person that we all know somebody that, isn't this amazing?
Yeah, yeah.
You react by like, no, I don't really get it. And then, what do you mean you don't get it?
Yeah. What? If you're not on the same
Actually,
page.
you're right. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought,
right?
Yeah. You know, it's that idea of...
I knew you were on the same page.
Yeah, I know you. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
He really doesn't understand differing opinions in a way that he understands them, but he's just this side of embracing the idea of, okay, well, let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
He's not that type of person.
Yeah.
It's a struggle for him, I believe. It doesn't come naturally.
Which makes sense for if you've had his abilities your whole life, like being like, I could change the way you think, or I know what you think.
Yeah.
So what you think doesn't really matter.
Yeah. If you actually think about that, can you imagine going through life, everybody saying one thing to you, but you know it's a struggle for you literally to not know what is going on underneath. It's like you have to flex a muscle to keep from knowing what this person is actually thinking.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
Yeah.
And to be in a world of, I'm sure, hypocrites.
Yeah.
You know, I hope no more than 55% of the population are hypocrites, but I bet there's a lot more that are hypocrites. You know? I bet that's actually being really kind to humanity, saying 55%. So it's tough. But I think it's a very consistent quality to the character. Anybody that knows the character well will write him that way. Mm-hmm. You believe in his mission statement, of course, and you would die for it if you're like, you know, an X-Man. But again, he's not the best guy. Does that make sense?
No, I get what you mean for thinking that. Because in my vision of him, it is, up until this series, it is very like,
the man, the legend.
He's the man, yeah. It's like you don't question him.
Right.
Like there's no questioning. It's like no, he is good. You know,
exactly.
Like especially with me knowing just from the movies of like seeing that viewpoint of like, oh, Professor X, Magneto, Professor X, this. It's like no, it's good or bad. It's these people against this. It's the greater good. It's the right choice.
So ultimately he lives up to the legend.
Yeah.
And you would die for him and you would fight for him because he would for you.
Yeah.
But it's just ultimately.
Yeah.
It's not effortlessly.
Yeah.
He is a flawed character, and that's why he's a great character.
Yeah.
That's why all these characters are great. Because they are flawed.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to House.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one's a red one.
This one's a red one.
Next week is Red House of
X 5, issue 5.
The last red one was a powerhouse.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how this one goes. I gave this one a B.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will agree with that and give it a solid B.
Solid B?
Yeah, a very solid B.
Gotcha. So yeah, we want to know what you guys think. We have the comic quality poll. You give it a rating, A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know what you think, and then comment below. And again, we're sorry that this one's a little late for you. Thank you again, and we appreciate all the feedback in the comments.
Indeed, thanks guys. We'll see you next time.
To be continued. Hi guys, I'm Gary.
I'm JD.
And this is Investigating Comic Club, where we chronologically... Once I
almost started laughing before you even got there.
Once I said investigating, I was like, I'm not going to be able to finish the sentence.
I felt it. Yeah. I really did. I almost just started laughing.
I was like, I can't move my mouth.